Welcome to the Damned Podcast. And of course, this is our Facebook viewer question of the week. And we're going to be talking today about a question that was asked: is there value in keeping records of ritual? Well, I'm going to talk about that because that is actually a very interesting.
Open your mind to something new.
The Damned Podcast. Let go of what anchors you and cut loose into the deep with your host, Daniel Updike.
And welcome to our Facebook group specific video talk of the week, which is happening always, for those that are new, on Tuesday live on Facebook at 7:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And it's also put on our live stream now, which I'm going to be talking about in just a second here, on our website at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Now, of course, for those of you that are very much interested in knowing what place you can go and watch our live broadcasts, you're going to want to go to where our traffic always was the highest. All right. Our website, which is, it should be on the screen right there now, https, remember the S, thedamnpodcast.net. And of course, that works whether you're on a mobile or on your computer. And just as a side note as well, I'm in the process of getting an application that is for Android right now specifically, that you will be able to use to watch on your phone or tablet or on your smart TV as well, various different things you can do. Okay? And so we're not gone, and I'm getting the videos that we had on our YouTube channel back up. It's just taking some time, as I have a lot on my plate right now, and it is getting done, and more will become more, use the word more too many times, obvious as, the playlists start getting repopulated. So today we're talking about, is there value in record keeping? When it comes to rituals, occult practice, what is the value, if any, in it? Well, first of all, I want to say that there is immense value in keeping record of your practices. Now, this expands to far more than just ritual. That's important too. But your meditations, you should keep a record of those too. Dreams that you might have that are really strange, write them down. Maybe there was a communication from your subconscious mind. Maybe it was a nocturnal fantasy. Who knows? But you won't know unless you keep track of some of these things. If you do not keep records, what ends up happening is the tremendous risk of repeating mistakes. Well, how can there be mistakes? Well, mistakes in the sense that you are working on getting the most effective practice, ritual possible for you so that you can experience manifest results in your experience of life, and so that you can grow and become. Now, how would you think of yourself in university if you didn't take any notes in the classes that you were in and then got faced with an exam and then failed it? Well, you'd say, well, no wonder, because you didn't take any notes, right? Well, in the same way, we're not responsible to other people. We're responsible to ourselves for our occult practice. And when we don't keep track of what's going on, the interpreter of our mind, the egoic consciousness, has a hard time at moments holding on to the memory clearly of what transpired that worked, that didn't work, that maybe worked so-so, that was effective, powerful, or not so. Because you see, we all think that our memories are great. I have a joke, I have a good memory, but it's short. That's actually more true for all of us. We actually don't forget things at all in the sense that they are always recorded within our minds. But being able to retrieve those memories and accurately retrieve them, that's the trick. Because we like to alter things, even just a little bit, from the way they happened. And, to give an example of this, if you had 3 people see the very same event, and then 3 months later, asked each of those 3 people to recount what they saw or experienced, the stories will be slightly different from each one. So, if what comes to day-to-day life, we can sometimes distort things, how much more important when we're dealing with our ascension, when we're dealing with practices that are really very important for every aspect of our being, that we should keep track of things so we can look back and see, oh, okay, maybe this way wasn't very effective for me, and I should maybe switch to something different, rather than going through the same thing 3 or 4 times. Now, another thing that happens when you keep records of things is you're able to see how far you've come. Many times we come to these points of discouragement where, oh, really? What's the point of going on? Realize that happens to all of us. Okay? You can take your journal, and it doesn't have to be some big, cumbersome tome. I've just got this tiny little book. I've got lots of tiny little books. I used to use huge ones. What are you going to do with that? Carry it around with a suitcase? No, I can fit that right in my pocket. There we go. All right. And if I want to write something down in it when I'm in ritual, I don't have to all of a sudden go and haul this thing out because I may have forgotten to bring it in the first place and distract myself. No, I've just got it right here. And you just write into it what you've done, and maybe sigils that you find important, you draw in there. And you have this as a record, and you have several of them, because you're going to use one of them up. And when you use one up, you start a new one, and never throw them away. And you can go back and be encouraged by looking at where you were at, let's say a year ago, 6 months ago, and then where you're at right now, and realize, oh, gee, I didn't even know I'd come that far. There are other ways as well that you can keep track of rituals. I don't do this often, but this is a little camera. It's a video camera, actually, and sometimes I have the means of getting the camera I use for this off onto a stand, and I can record things that way too, and do a video recording of it, because maybe you want to go over something again later that gives you more of an audio visual of what you did. Maybe it's a very important ritual. Now, the only caveat I put to that is that I always, and of course you do what you want, but I always personally ask permission during the meditation pre-ritual work that I do of the spirits that I'm going to be working with, if it's all right with them, if I record it in that fashion. If I have a sense in my intuition that, that doesn't feel quite right, I take that as a no, and I won't do it. If I feel nothing of the sort, but rather, oh, well, that's okay, I take that as a yes, and I'll do it. And, with that respect, I've had great results in recording rituals, and you can actually understand that I do some of that with the patron community that we have, with the monthly ritual instruction that we have. Because, of course, I think it's important for people not only to hear and to learn how things can be effective, but to see how they can be effective as well. So that's very powerful and very potent. This was a very down-to-earth question, and I appreciate it. I am answering these questions in the order I got them. None of them have been forgotten. And I'm going to be continuing on with this for a while, and you're going to find this as well on a renewed playlist once I get everything with DTube completely functional. There's a few things that are more complicated on my end signing in, because I have to use these long hash tags that are for blockchain purposes. So if you forget one of those, you're done. So I've got it all in a notepad, backed up several times so that I can get in there and get things restored. And so that's moving forward in a very positive way. You're also going to find the live streams much more intuitive just by going to our website. And I'm just going to put that there again for you just at the end of this so that you can see our website, of course, thedamnedpodcast.net. There's also many other things that are there as well. If you go to our dynamic tools page, you'll find all kinds of things that are there that are within your reach, no matter where you're at, and can be very helpful to you in putting into action a lot of the things that I've been teaching and a lot of things that I've been talking about, and do that for your betterment, which is exciting as well for me, as I love to see people win. All right. So with that, I'm going to be looking at the questions. Of course, I've had to focus on the stream here, and I will be going over the questions and any other comments that are made on the Facebook page and chat. And if you happen to watch or be watching the replay in the live stream, realize there is a chat feature on the website as well in the bottom right-hand corner. And you can click on that and leave a comment or a message or a question, and I'll get back to you that way as well. Okay, so thank you very much for taking the time to watch this, and realize that, you're appreciated. You're the reason I do this. I'm Dan, the host of the TDP Videocasts, or the Damned Podcast. Until next time.